Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to rant about the college football playoff rankings. I'm going to go over the rankings first. I haven't done one of these videos yet for most of the rankings, but this is a big ranking, the second to last one, or the last one, I believe, before the selection show on Sunday after the Friday and Saturday conference championship game. So we're going to get right into it here, man. I don't get it, man. Your college football playoff rankings, we're going to go through 1 through 25 here. Oregon at number 1, as they should be. Texas at 2. Penn State at 3. Notre Dame 4. Georgia 5. Ohio State drops down to 6, and after their loss to Michigan, at home, which was a pretty bad loss, but they only fought to number 6. Tennessee at 7. SMU at 8. Indiana at number 9. The only opponent they've played this year, Ohio State, which, yeah, that loss is still looking even worse when they lost to an unranked Michigan team. I know it's a rivalry game, but it doesn't help Indiana's case. But they're probably still going to make it somehow. Boise State at 10. Go Ashton G team, rooting for them Boise State Broncos. Then Alabama. Alabama's where I have an issue. Alabama, number 11, with 3 losses. I just don't see how you can have Alabama here at number 11. This is not a playoff team. They've lost to Vandy. While, yes, they're better than they used to be, that's still a bad loss. Especially for a program like Alabama. They lost to Oklahoma. Another mediocre team. Let's check their records, shall we? Vanderbilt. And they lost to a mediocre LSU team. They lost to a mediocre LSU team. Obviously, they lost to Tennessee, but that's a 6-6 record. Oklahoma, 6-6 record. This ain't a playoff team. I'm sorry, but I'm being honest. This isn't a playoff team. Jalen Milroe has been mediocre, and they just don't have much on offense besides when he runs the ball and Ryan Williams, and that's it. Miami at 12. I don't get these rankings, man. A committee screw job once again. If you're a Miami fan, I don't think Miami or Alabama should be in. The Syracuse game was unexcusable. They should have won that game. The way things play out, how things played out with this, Bama shouldn't be in. Maybe if all 3 losses were close games, but you lost 24-3 to Oklahoma. Oklahoma isn't even good. This committee is a joke. What is this, the SEC Invitational? We might as well just have Alabama automatically in the playoffs every year. Why does a 3-loss team who didn't even make their conference championship get in the playoffs? Fuck this committee. I don't know. I mean, I know BYU beat SMU, but that was like early in the season with a different quarterback. Or Jennings was their quarterback and struggled. But SMU's better now. So, I saw someone point that out, but I don't know. How does Alabama go up? They beat a bad Auburn team, unranked. South Carolina beats Clemson on the road and goes up 1 spot. That's it? They could have put BYU up a bit. I don't know. Maybe you could have had Ohio State drop a few spots. I just don't get the rankings here. Maybe you could. I don't think Miami should be in, but you should have them at least over Alabama. This Alabama team ain't gonna do shit in the playoffs if they get in. It feels like controversy every single year we do these rankings. Tennessee should have jumped Ohio State, to be honest. I swear, man. The Alabama at 11's a joke. Miami at 12. Ole Miss at 13. South Carolina 14. South Carolina should at least be number 11. That would be my ranking. South Carolina at number 11. Get South Carolina would dog walk all these 3 teams. Ole Miss, Miami, Alabama. They would dog walk all 3 of those teams with the way they're playing right now. How is South Carolina at number 14 and Arizona State number 15? If I'm the college football playoff committee, I'm putting South Carolina 11, Arizona State at number 12. And Arizona State has a chance to win their conference championship this week. So if they win it, they should be in. Iowa State at 16, Clemson at 17, BYU at 18, Missouri at 19, UNLV at 20, Illinois at 22, 21, Syracuse at 22, Colorado at 23, Army at 24, and Memphis at 25. And I was about to do a news video, but I saw these rankings, and I'm like, I have to do a video about it and rant on this shit. And with Alabama ranked ahead of Miami, the Tide should get a final at-large spot if SMU beats Clemson in the ACC title game. They'll get a at-large spot if SMU beats Clemson, which is probably going to happen. I don't get it, man. They lost to a 6-6 team by 21 points. They lose to another 6-6 team in Vandy. How? I just do not see how you can make an argument that this is a playoff team. That they're just going to shove the SEC down our throats in the playoffs every single year. No other program gets more buys than Alabama. Fucking joke. Man. It's a joke, man. I hate this shit. Every year it's Alabama, SEC, with the fucking bias in these rankings. Figured Alabama was going to get it. They shouldn't be, but hey, they are. And they're over Miami. And the selection committee chair, Wardy Manuel, on why Alabama over Miami. It really came down to Alabama 3-1 versus current top 25 teams. Miami was 0-1. Alabama 6-1 under teams. 6-1 versus teams over 500. Miami 4-2. Did he even know what he was fucking saying? He was fumbling over his words while trying to say this. I mean, I'm not saying... He didn't include the fact that Bama's 0-2 against teams that are exactly 500. Are they just not going to focus on Bama's losses? Where they lost by 21 to Alabama and lost by 21 to Oklahoma and lost to Vandy. They have 3 losses. This also doesn't justify why South Carolina is below these teams. Why is South Carolina below these teams? Their 2 losses are to teams under 500. Or if we want to talk about teams 500, which means Alabama's 3-2 versus teams 500, and Miami's 6-0. I know the ACC's garbage, but if you want to use that argument, Miami's 6-0 versus teams under 500, aren't they? Alabama's 3-2. So it's better to lose to teams not above 500? Yeah, right. It just comes down to Alabama and SEC favoritism. Look, you can say, over 500, the 6-1. It's what it came down to, but not the fact they have 2 losses to teams below 500. I'm sorry. So it's worse to lose to a good Syracuse team? I know Miami should have won that game. I'm not making excuses, but the committee's basically telling you it's worse to lose to a good Syracuse team and a Georgia Tech team that pushed Miami and Georgia to the limit than losing as a 20-point favorite to Vandy and Oklahoma. I mean, I'm not making excuses for Miami because those are games that they should have won. But Georgia Tech was better than people expected, and Syracuse is a good football team. But those are games Miami should have won. But if we're using that argument of Alabama, teams over 500, why don't we over teams that are under 500? They were at 500 or under. They lost to 2 of those teams. And also the committee chair, Ward Manuel, basically said teams in conference title games not playing cannot jump any teams not playing. So if SMU beats Clemson, Alabama gets at-large bid over Miami. It's just wild, man. Ward Manuel and the committee are a joke. Alabama does not deserve to be in over Arizona State right now. You see how Arizona State's playing? Yeah, they would beat Alabama. They'd beat them by 30 or 40. Arizona State should be in the fucking playoffs. Like, this is a joke. So basically, the phrasing was kind of a bit confusing to me. Teams playing the conference title games not playing. I kind of didn't understand that sentence. I think he also stated that conference title games are a reward and teams shouldn't be punished for it. So SMU should be locked in the playoffs even if they have a close loss to Clemson. The committee should not drop them out. I don't get it. They scored 3 points against Oklahoma 2 weeks ago. There's better defenses in the playoffs. We need to get rid of... Might as well not even have a selection show at this point. Might as well not do the conference championships because it doesn't even fucking matter. I guess. I don't get it. I don't know why Alabama gets this SEC bias. But it's whatever. But yeah, that's your top 25 playoffs. Your current projected bracket, 1 seed. Your top 4 seeds that would get a bye are Oregon, Texas, SMU, and Boise State if they all win their conference championships. Then your matchups would be Penn State, Arizona State if they were to win their conference championship. Alabama, Notre Dame, Georgia, Indiana, and Ohio State and Tennessee. First 2 teams out would be Miami and Ole Miss. Terrible. Just... I figured this was going to happen, but... just disappointed. But we'll see. You can make the case for South Carolina and make it. That's just kind of my opinion. You can say, oh yeah, 3 losses. You look, 3 losses. Well, Alabama has 3 losses. Miami has, 2 or 3? And Ole Miss has 3. There's a lot of teams that have 3 losses. A 3-loss team is going to get in, but it shouldn't be Alabama. If you look at Miami's losses, they're better than Alabama's losses. Or you could say Arizona State, South Carolina. I would agree with you. Maybe I think South Carolina and Arizona State should get in over both those teams. But yeah, Miami's basically eliminated. I mean, they're going to get a bowl game at least, but they're eliminated. I mean, they did it to themselves, though, to be fair. I mean, to be fair, they did it to themselves. Losing games, they should have beat Syracuse and they would have been fine. But, yeah, it's basically my rant. Alabama shouldn't be in. I think Arizona State, South Carolina should have been over Miami and Alabama, but look, at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about it. If I was on the committee, that would be my thoughts, but whatever. It is what it is. We'll see. But what if Georgia loses the ACC championship? Has 3 losses. How far will they go? It's going to be interesting to see what happens during conference championship week, but that's really all I got to say here. So until next time, out. Peace.